Welcome all to this anniversary transmission with the Alexanderson Alternator SAQ from 1924. My name is Robert, and on my left side here I have Staffan, who will act as the operator today. And on my right side I have Kai, who is the telegraphist the whole day. Behind the camera we have Thomas, and his assistant is Bengt. And on the Swedish microphone we have Anders. It's a beautiful day with some sunshine, and we have many different visitors from different countries. There are many different activities around here, and we have a newly renovated visitors center, which I think you have seen. We have our station wagon on the outside of the station. It's a 1931 Chevrolet pickup, and it shines in the light of the sun. This day, 100 years ago, on July the 2nd, 1925, the Grimeton radio station was officially inaugurated. The radio traffic had already begun in the 1st of December 1924, but now it's time for the official ceremony. On the screen you can see Swedish King together with Ernst Alexanderson and David Sornoff and other prominent guests. And they're waiting for the start of the machine. And Ernst Alexanderson was the inventor of the Alternator. It's a great machine, as you can see behind me, and the massive antenna system, the multiple resonant antenna. The large and shiny Alexanderson generator was put into use, and a message to the American President Calvin Coolidge was sent to the receiving station in Riverhead, Long Island, New York, in the United States. The American president replied and considered the new radio installations to be crucial for the relation between Sweden and the United States. This began an era of communication from the Grimeton radio station and between the United States and other parts of the world. And this was continuing for many decades. Despite the technological developments at the station, the old Alexanderson alternator was kept in working order by the personnel of this station. Today it's the only remaining electromechanical transmitter, and it's still working. Now that we stand here, 100 years after the inauguration, it's with a great respect for the history and for the place, and we are very grateful to be part of this. I'm therefore very happy we were shared today with a special greeting from the other side of the Atlantic by the Ernst Fredrik Werner Alexanderson, the grandson of the inventor, who conveyed his greetings earlier today. And to mark the day, we have a message from the children of class 8A at the Almer School in Varberg, Sweden, which we will try to spread to the world via the radio waves on the frequency 17.2 kilohertz. So now it's soon time to start the alternator, and we have prepared the start by checking the oil levels of the machine, and also to add the switches which supply the station with a high voltage supplies. So now it's time to switch on the high voltage. So I will ask Staffan to go out and check that we don't have people close to the switch yard. And I will have to switch on the remote control to the switch yard. So we'll see if there is... it's coming back here, and it seems all good to switch on. So now we have switched on, so we have 2,300 volts into the station. And now we will prepare for the start. And Staffan will now position himself close to the emergency switch. So I will now add the supply so we get power into the control panel. And he seems to be ready. And now we hear the alarm bell. And this means that we still we don't have any oil pressure or any water supply for the cooling. So now Staffan will switch off the alarm bell. And then it's time to go down and start the water pump. The water pump is a centrifugal pump driven by a three-phase motor. And the first step to get the pump working, we need to flush the pump itself to fill it up with water to get rid of all the air inside the centrifugal pump. And Staffan listens to the sound from the flushed water. So when he thinks it's no air involved, he closes the outlet valve, the small valve on top of the pump house. And when it's fully flushed, det borde vara klart. So, and then he will go and start the motor, and we'll see if it starts as expected. And after this, he needs to open the outlet valve, which is a 20-turn handle, which is quite heavy to turn around. So you need to do some exercises before you do this, and be careful with your back. And the pressure we want to achieve is 2 bars, or 2 kiloponds per square centimeter. And you can see that on the right-hand meter. And now you can hear the pump start to work. And now it's quite heavy to turn the handle. And now you can see the pointer to rise on the pressure meter on the wall. And then Staffan listens to the sound from the pump, so you can hear if it's any air left, and then you have to wait a little bit before you open the valve fully. It seems to work fine so far. And the inlet valve is closed, I guess. No, not that one, the fill-up water. And now it checks the level of the liquid resistors, which are used to control the power of the electrical motor that drives the alternator. Okay, so the water levels are good. And the next step is to start the circulating pump, or the 2 circulating pumps. One is the start resistor, and the other one is the compensation resistor. And he puts on some insulating gloves because we have 400 volts alternating current close to the contactor. So it has some safety precautions. And I hope he don't put the camera into the relay. And now Staffan comes back and switch on the alarm. And now it's time for you to start the oil pump. Good, thank you. And then we will have Staffan at the emergency switch. So I will start the engine. And we have so the starting current is very high. If you look on this amperage meter, and now we have started the motor, and you can see that the axis starts to rotate. And we have a starting current of about 150 amperes. And we have a supply voltage in the order of 1300 volts or so. Yeah. And now we are waiting for the motor current to drop down to around 80 amperes. And presently we are at 140 amperes. And it takes a few minutes. And in the meantime, you can hear the motor driving up the RPMs of the motor. So the final rotational speed of the motor should be 711.3 revolutions per minute. And presently we are at around maybe 400. And we will soon hear the alarm bell go off again. And that is when we have a too high pressure, oil pressure. And we see when that comes on. So we have now around a little bit over 400 RPMs per minute. And the current is about 90 amperes. So we have to wait a little bit more until we can increase the speed even further. So I would expect the oil pump or the alarm bell go off for that we get too high oil pressure. I think it should be quite soon now. We'll have a look at the... Yeah, a little bit more. It's very close. Well, the current are low enough so we can switch on the generators. Yeah. Staffan switches on the 500 volt generator and the 250 volts generator. Yeah, good. I will just check the oil gauge again. Yeah, I think we could go on to switch. Maybe we should try to switch off the oil pump and see what happens. Yeah, okay. So now it's time to switch on the field excitation to the 500 volts generator, please. Like that. And now we can hear the motor increase its speeds very much. And we should start to raisen the gates of the liquid resistors. So now Staffan is increasing the liquid level in the liquid resistor to increase the torque of the motor. And we can also raise the, yes. Excuse me. I think you should switch on the field to the alternator now. Yes, that's good. And now when you switched on the field to the alternator, there will be an automatic speed control by the system. Otherwise, if you wait too long with that, it will go over the peak of the control loop, and that means it will just increase the speed up to the maximum possible, and that's not the intention. I think you can increase the levels on the liquid resistor even more. I think you can go on, another push. So you want to have the correct frequency at 17.2 kilohertz and to have a motor voltage which is just below 2000 volts, because then we have the maximum range for the automatic control system. So we are very close to the right frequency now. No, it's wrong. It's not. We can go up with a gate a little bit more. I'll take some more pushes. Yeah. So now you can see the two needles starting to go up and down, and that means that the frequency control or the speed control is working. Can take another push, please. And if we go to a too high level with the gate to increase the water level or the liquid level too much, then the motor voltage will drop too much. So we'll see what we are able to achieve here. Now we are quite correct on the voltage, and we'll see what happens with the frequency in some time. So it's we have only one variable that we want to adjust now, and we have two variables that we want to achieve, and only one control value. Ja, du kan väl sänka den lite. Bara lite. Okay, we could leave it at that point, and we could increase the compensation resistor to increase the liquid level as well. Yeah, and in the meantime, we could go and start the fan. And the fan is used to cool four big relays in the relay corridor, which carry high currents from the rotor of the motor, and also controls the transductors that control the stator voltage of the motor. And now you can hear the fan start. It makes a lot of noise when the air blows between two narrow gaps, which is the contact surfaces of the contactor or the relay. I think you can lower the gate a little bit. Not too much. It's very delicate to get the right level there. So sometimes it's difficult to achieve the right frequency and the right voltage at the same time. But normally I would prefer the frequency to be correct, and if the voltage is a little bit off, it doesn't matter really. It's very sensitive, as I said before. Okay, I think that's good enough. And are the compensation at the right level now? Are they increased the compensation up to the relay was, yeah, very good. And then we should start to try to make, first we should connect the antenna switch, so we have the power the whole way to the antenna. Now is pulling and now when the red lamp is on, we have connection to the antenna. And now we could try the test key. Are you pressing? No? Yeah, I think you could go up just a little bit. I think that looks quite good. And now we could go and switch on the tape, the punch tape that we are running to looking at the speed, how well it varies. Depends a little bit on how fast you are with the key and so on. And will the machine getting used to the Morse code. And there's about 11 minutes left until the transmission will start. Ja, den är ganska okej klar. We could, if you go to the test key again and just know if you switch around from the like that, and we test with the test key, we could see the power or the current, antenna current if you press it. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So we have around 50 amps. I should go back to that one. We have about 50 amps antenna current, and that means that we have 50 amps current or close to that in the 6 vertical wires. That is the actual transmitting parts of the antenna, or the radiating parts of the antenna. So it's actually the 6 vertical wires that are radiating, not the horizontal part of the antenna. Now we have some minutes. I will go outside and we will have a look at the antenna, but you stay here. We have to be in the right position to get the radio connection from the camera to work, and also so you can hear me. In the background you can see the 6 towers of the multiple resonant antenna. The reason for the 6 towers is that we have an antenna that has about 6 times better efficiency compared to if you only had 1 tower with 1 radiating wire. And that makes a big difference to the other equipment, actually the alternator. If we only had 1 tower with 1 wire system on the top, the power from the alternator would have to be 6 times larger, in that case 1.2 megawatt. And now the Alexanderson generator, the alternator, only needs to be 200 kilowatt to achieve the same signal strength in New York. So that's a great advantage of his system. It's a very clever solution. Over here we have the cooling pond that was used initially during hot summer days when the alternator was running 24/7. But nowadays it's only needed for display. The actual cooling reservoirs is closer to the station, and it's buried into the ground just outside the building. So they are quite enough to cool the machine in today's transmission, as it's not that very long. The antenna system is also requires a good ground plane. That's very essential for the efficiency. So there's a lot of ground wires used to reduce the resistance in the ground, because the ground near to the antenna is very important to achieve a good efficiency. And at each tower there is a coil for making the antenna resonant, and the closest coil we have over there, we can have a quick look at that, I hope. So there we can see the first tuning coil of the antenna system. So the power from the alternator is connected to the bottom of that coil, and the top is connected to the wires which feeds the 6 or the remaining 5 radiating wires. Okay, I think we could go inside again. So let's see now how the machine is working. I could say a few words of our association, the Alexander Association. We are volunteers, so we have the pleasure of working with the refurbishment or the maintenance of this transmitter. And we meet every 3rd week in the evening, and when we do the maintenance, and we polish some parts, and we make, we look for leakages of water and oil that we have to fix, and doing some measurements on some occasion to better understand how the machine works. So a lot of ingenious systems. it takes some time to really understand how everything is connected and so on. We have schematics of everything, but you know, it's a lot of parts on this schematic. It's about, the schematic is in the relay corridor, it's about 3 meters long. So it's difficult to follow one of the wires to the other end of the, but we have a more modern schematics as well, so it's been well documented, the system. And we also support the World Heritage with technical guidance. When we have people here, they can get a more in-depth technical discussion and get answers on the more detailed questions, technical questions. So that's, in fact, quite a large part now of the work we do is to guide groups together with the World Heritage personnel as well. Yeah, now it's 3 minutes for the telegraphist to get to work, but we still have a few minutes. And I think the frequency is okay. It can be adjusted, but it takes more time and it might not be useful. It's well within the tolerances that we are allowed. Plus minus 50 hertz is the license that is for this radio station. So now he's documenting all the switches. I think it looks okay, don't you? Yeah. And it will change a little bit when the telegraphist gets to work, because he will have a slightly different speed than the punched tape transmission as we run it now. And when the telegraphist is working, I will silence my microphone so I don't disturb that. I think, is there anything else to say about? There's a lot of handles here. You have to be careful with what you adjust, so you don't change too many handles at the same time. Then you're quite easily lost. Okay, maybe we can wait maybe a few seconds more before we switch over to the telegraphist. I will have a go over here so I can see him. Excuse me. Du kan lägga över till telegrafisten. Now. So the telegraphist will start shortly. Thank you, Kai. Thank you. Excellent work. Excellent work. So now it's time to stop the transmitter. So yes. And we switch off the alternator field current and the 500-volt generator field current. And then we stop the motor. And there is this remote control here, which you have to take a few times before it works, yeah? So now the motor will reduce its speed. It takes about 9 minutes before it's really come to a stop. And after that we can switch off the oil pump and the water cooling pump. So thank you very much, all the visitors and viewers, and all the participants of the team that was making this transmission possible. And we hope that the listeners out in the world will send the listeners' report. It's very interesting to hear how well we are heard today, and compare it with the morning and see if there are any differences and so on. So it's very exciting to get reports and see how far we reached around the world this day. So thank you very much. And I will hope that you who found this quite exciting event, that you will team up with the Alexanderson team, our team. It's a very small fee you have to pay every year. It's 125 crowns, I think. And then you can come and have courses to learn how to run the machine and to understand how everything works here. And also to sit down and have a chat over a cup of coffee and come down into the transmitting hall and to polish some parts or to switch some lamps and reducing the leaks of oil and water. So now Staffan was switching on the oil pump, and now he will go out and switch off the fan. So we get a little bit lower noise level here. So thank you very much all. It's been nice to have you here, and nice to have you on YouTube to look at our work here in the Grimeton World Heritage. So we had a lot of visitors today. I think I've never seen so many people in here before. So goodbye and have a good time. Thank you.